A person click on link and he lost some amount of money. So that's why we are here to discuss about how we can stop these kind of attacks, or should I say hacks. Nitish, I would like to ask before we start, have you seen any attacks? Have you ever experienced or seen somewhere that this kind of fraud has happened in online payment or anywhere else? Do you have anything to share with us?
Yes, I have been with this incidents actually. The whole background is development only. So I was working in the DevOps and DevOps career level. So we had a DDoS in one of our companies, so one of our clients. So DDoS it was because some APIs was opened and without any authentication, they did the integration with any third party, and that was on their side, but somehow they discovered the domain. Now they came to our side. So we had this. Yeah, it is normal. If you look at the WAP logs in most of the fintech companies, you see that lot of the attacks are trying, like lot of the IPs are trying to penetrate into. So it is having to.
Yeah, that these kind of attacks, like some when we see that this is happened, maybe the hacker is really advanced hacker, some very technical. What they have done is just created some like UPI, creating request for UPI payment. The guy has requested, the person click on link and the payment is done there. Now this is some kind of fraud, but what we will discuss the technicals, like how the technicalities can improve this industry. Like I am creating a payment gateway, someone is buying something from this website and the payment request is going to the payment gateway like Paytm or BharatPe. So we are going to discuss, everyone, my guest speaker and me are going to discuss what happened here that the attacker do, like how he manipulates the payment so that he can change the payment to whatever he wants. So we have Nitish Kumar here. He is DevOps engineer in Gokwik, and Devendra Singh from Sanctum. I would like to thank you, our guest speakers, for joining us in this. Okay, I think we should start here.
Hello everybody, I am Samriddhi Singh. So I would like to introduce all my panelists here today. So hello everyone. On behalf of Kratikal, I, Samriddhi Singh, welcome my audience, all my panelists and team members in this highly anticipated webinar, which is Fintech Fort Knox, exploring payment security in fintech industry. So why are we all here today? As you all know, the digital landscape is rapidly evolving, and so are the cyber risks. So cyber risk does not only causes financial losses, but also pose a significant risk to one's reputation. So it is not a luxury anymore, but the need of the hour for the individuals and organizations to be informed about such threats and take preventive measures to protect themselves. And to enlighten you, all the panelists have put their time together to enlighten our audience about the significance of implementing a cybersecurity framework at your organization and what could be the hidden cost if one compromises it. I welcome our esteemed panelists here today. I would like to extend a warm welcome to Mr. Nitish Kumar Chaubey from DevOps Lead at Gokwik Private Ltd and Mr. Devendra Singh, IT Head at Sanctum Wealth. We are so thrilled to have you all here and really appreciate your valuable time here with us. And now introducing our host, Mr. Shaquib Izhar, Threat Intelligence Analyst at Kratikal. So without further ado, I request that Mr. Shaquib throw some light on the recent attacks that have taken place in the fintech industry. Over to you, Shaquib.
Thank you, Samriddhi. I would like to share my screen. So we'll start with, as we all know, this webinar is about how can what is fintech. We'll have a little discussion on what is fintech, how this industry has improved the payment and then we'll talk about why we are discussing this, like what security threats we have here. I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, great. So, how about start with the fintech? Like, this is financial technology. And look around, whatever payment we are doing through online, like phone, mobile apps, that's come under financial technology. Cryptocurrencies, these all cover this fintech industry. Key areas in this industry are like banking, payment, and lending. So integration, the important integration has happened here is like your mobile apps. You can do transaction through your phone. You have a digital wallet. There you can see or store your payment, or you can have balance. You can see how much balance do you have. You are not required to keep a cash every time. That's digital wallet is secure and safe. And banking software. So, talking about some important innovations here, it's like the mobile payment, which I just talked about, digital identity verification, because whenever you are registering with any mobile apps like Paytm or BharatPe, they are gonna do like something like we say KYC, know your customer. They have your identity, and whatever payment someone is doing, it can be tracked, it can be seen who's doing the payment and to whom the payment is being done. So, combining all these industries like online banking, investment, banking, payment gateway, like whenever you click on buy something and you are redirected to some like payment machine is like Paytm, BharatPe. So this is payment gateway. So combining all these will be is called fintech here. Why security is important in this fintech? Why should we take seriously this? Because these apps, these payment gateways, and whatever app we are using to do payment or transaction, they have a personal information. They have our account details. They have a payment information. If somehow it gets leaked online, someone can misuse it. Someone can steal your identity. Someone can use that information, whatever is leaked online, for doing any anonymous transaction, any transaction or fraud. So this is why the hackers or attackers are constantly looking to breach this industry. So because if this happened, if any kind of security breach happened, it's going to create a big impact on customers, and also the industry going to have a big financial loss. And as I talk about, like, it's going to create an identity theft, and also that's obvious reputational damage, because if data has been breaches from my company and from Paytm, the next time before registering or before using Paytm, I will think, why should I use this, if it is secure or not, because this kind of incident has happened with them. So if we talk about recent security incident in fintech, that's recently like Mr. Nitish talked about the DDoS attack that happened in Asper Bank, and there was a cryptocurrency theft in Beanstalk forms, and data breach happened in Cash Mama. So these incidents has created a really big impact in security industry and on the people who are using it, because if my data is online, anyone can use it. And if it is online and even the company who's hosting it or the website is hosting it, deleted those data, it's still possible that it is in someone's local storage, or someone has already copied those data. So what kind of cyber crimes are trending in this industry? Application security, because if I'm buying something, if I'm doing shopping, that's happening on the application, web application. whatever data is there, if I'm saving my debit card details, that's is going to store on the cloud. So cloud security is also important here, because that also contain a risk. And data identity risk, if my data is secure or not, if somehow it get leaked. Data integrity risk, because if whatever I am buying, or suppose I am buying something for 10 rupees or 100 rupees, and somehow someone manipulate the URL or transaction and taken 1000 rupees for that amount, for that whatever I'm buying. So that can happen here. And also money laundering is a big risk in this fintech industry. So talking about the recent news, there's some recent cyber attack happened on a fintech firm recently, and that was also related to DDoS. People were not able to do a transaction, people were not able to check their account, people were not able to do require send money to anyone. So why the secure fintech? Because if we talk about technicality, so if someone is sending any data from client side and your server is accepting and trusting everything, that's going to lead a massive cyber risk. That can lead to injection attack, which we call SQL injection, any kind of malicious behavior, unauthorized access, denial of service, and privilege escalation. If I am a normal user and I can change myself to admin because of this application risk. Recently, I was going through a website. I tried to buy something for this amount of money. The total payable amount was 3,434. So what I did, I clicked on pay now, as you can see here. And now the website was asking for how about do some partial payment. So you don't need to do the full payment, just do the partial payment here. So that the partial payment amount was 890 rupees. What I did, I captured the request in the proxying software. I tampered the amount. I changed the amount to 26 rupees and 20 rupees. And the final payment I got there in the payment merchant is here. It was 26 rupees. So if you go back, we can see the partial payment was 890, which changed to 26 rupees. Why this happened? Because of application security. The application, the payment amount is generated from the application can be tampered here before reaching to the whatever payment machine is the company is using here. Is this all? But risk? No, because there are other security concerns in fintech industry also, like malware, a payment processing agency, like there was a case here, changed into hit with the aid of ransomware attack that disrupted its offering and impacted over 1,500 companies. Insider threats, because even if I have secured everything, even if everything is secured and my company has not complete policy, a good compliance policy, someone from my inside the company can download some malicious tool, a malicious software, and run it, and that can lead to some malware attacks, some data theft, or some kind of data breach. And phishing, as we all know, it's day by day, it's keep evolving. Web application security, which I just show you guys, like how that can happen, because if we talk about what are the vulnerabilities in fintech, what are the vulnerable attack surface here, web application security. If you have secured your web application, if you have properly followed the security rules and protocols to create the web application, you are mostly not vulnerable to it. Network security, even if somehow the malware or some attacker is inside my network, and if my network is properly secured, compliance is properly implemented, and firewall is properly working, the attacker can be stopped at the like non-privileged machine indirectly. The attacker cannot pivot. Pivot means like cannot move from non-admin to admin computers. So network security is also important and to secure your fintech industry. Mobile application security, that is really important here, because if I am doing transaction through my mobile, And if an attacker can decompile what is called reverse engineer your application, and if he's inside your application code, and if you find something like this code is doing this kind of vulnerability, how about I exploit it? And if attacker can successfully exploit those code vulnerability, that can lead to massive security risk. And cloud security, which is obvious, every data is in cloud, and I think every organization should take seriously their cloud security, because if data breach happened there, so that data can be found anywhere, dark web, surface web, and someone can copy it, recreate it, and reshare it with some other hacking forums. So what are some basic things here we can use follow to secure? So first is encryption. If your proper firewall installed in your network, so make sure it is encrypted sensitive data which is in transit. And also, if you are storing something locally, make sure the data is encrypted, like some kind if I give a simple example here, if I am storing my employees' data in a hard drive for backup, so I will make sure I am also encrypting it, some kind of like BitLocker is a good example here. So that is something we should follow. Provide employee education on cybersecurity, because if employees are not aware of how that can how their action can lead to some massive data breach, so that is really a big cyber risk, because the most vulnerable thing in any industry are the people inside the industry or organization. Make sure you have incident response plan ready, because if data breach happen, you should know how to stop it. You should know how to isolate the infected machine. And also conduct ordinary safety test. Make sure you are simulating some kind of attack. You are simulating some kind of attack. Web application, mobile, an app, or inside your network, to check if firewall and web application firewall are able to stop the threats. And if you are using some third-party tools, make sure they are also following the proper cybersecurity protocol. And the last thing, which is obvious, I will say, like application security guidelines, compliance policy are here, which really help industry to secure their employee and the customer data. Okay, so let's have a Q&A session from my guest. So I would like to start with Mr. Devendra Singh. Mr. Devendra, what do you think is the most important factor here in improving payment security? Is it like if I am going to say only mobile application secure, if I am going to only secure like web application, is it enough, or is it something like you think is also important every organization should follow?
So in terms of securing your payment gateway, first thing I would say is encryption, validation of data, setting up necessary controls, and monitoring of the traffic. So these are all the things that will improve your security in terms of payment.
Yes, because a proper network monitoring is also important here. If someone is doing some malicious activities, there's malicious activity going on in the network, so the system admin, if he is not from properly cybersecurity, but system admin should be able to understand what is happening here. The firewall should generate proper alerts that this is happening, which is some kind of malicious behavior. Immediately stop this, immediately isolate the system.
So there are tools like SOCs that could be used for identifying these behaviors, and that will also help us to react on what you can say, detect and react on the threats.
Yes, because SOC and also Security Operations Center is really important here, because they can immediately respond to any kind of network vulnerability or network attacks if they find any malicious or adversary behavior in the network. Okay. The second question is like why do data breach happen according to you? Like any common method, is it you can think of, like is it phishing, social engineering, or website vulnerability? In simple terms, like website vulnerability.
I'll add up. See, if you go as per statistics, 90% of these issues are related to human errors. So where the processes are formed, they are not implemented properly, or if they are implemented, they are not monitored, they are not cross-checked or audited regularly. So these are the things which tends to leave you vulnerable. So with not just having right people with right skill set, but also having processes as well as auditing those processes is equally important to close the gaps and having a secure environment for your clients.
Yeah, definitely. So because human errors are leading a massive cyber breach, so that is something what I think is compliance and employee training is really important here to improve cyber risk related to these things. Okay. Moving on to Nitish, I have a question for you. Like how insider threat, like any attack which can happen from inside your organization, an employee or any person, can affect internal compliance policy and can lead to cyber attack. Nitish.
So it can be of many types, either intentional or non-intentional. And what I can say is that there are some insider threats that usually we have seen into the market, like something like data exfiltration, where where inside threats can involve like unauthorized transfer of or theft of sensitive data by employees or other trusted. Unlike the access controls, like someone has unintentionally or intentionally changed the accesses of the third parties who are integrated with the system for like a feature, or someone who is to have to increase the productivity, to increase the product, that they can come and start working from the first day, right? So they have access to the system. So this can be to the threat, and like by testing the security measures of the code or insider collaboration, right? So that so this insider collaboration is kind of mostly intentional in nature. So you are in or passing a bug code to the production or something like, or like you are already sensitive to the threats
Yes, insider threats are really a big risk to cybersecurity of fintech, especially in fintech industry. Like Nitish said, if someone is trying to, if I recall an example like that one which is happened in 3CX, one of 3CX employee downloaded a tool for monitoring stock, but the tool was infected with a malware. Even when the employee ran the tool, that infected their entire organization, and that led to a big cyber attacks. So moving on, I have a last question for you, Nitish. Can you share any recommendation for educating and raising awareness about fintech security among both employees and customers?
If you're asking about the recommendation for educating and raising awareness about fintech security, then it's employees training and customer education is also there. Employees training includes like regular workshops to be conducted, teaching awareness what kind of attacks is there into the market, or like companies are facing, how they are securing it, what is the controls that you have built into your systems of password securities and data protection, so that what is the encryption methodology you are facing within the data, what is the device security like system, network system, how much they are secure, why not to change those settings. This kind of employee training should be there in place. If you talk about the customer educators, then the user, with the training security information should be published to them. and security guidelines that if we are integrating or copying or making communication to our infrastructure, we should be following these guidelines. There should not be any in this regard. And as far as we should have a proper communication between something happens there and we should be able to communicate any business system that something has happened to our secure system. So that is also part of compliance, that if something happens to your system, you should be putting a notice to your customers or end users. So that kind of education and transparency should be implemented.
Exactly. I will say that in basic security training, basic awareness of cyber security or cyber risk can help industry and organization to not exactly completely stop, but at least prevent some like easily breachable cyber risk. So that is something really important here. Moving on, I would like to thank you, Nitish, for his answer and sharing his points on cyber risk, and also I would like to thanks Devendra Singh for joining us and providing us some good technical points in this security and fintech security. Moving on to Sandeep.
So I must say that was such an enriching session. The expertise and wisdom shared by our speakers were truly outstanding, and I'm sure that our audience had a great time. I would like to thank our speakers, Mr. Nitish Kumar Chaubey from Gokwik Ltd and Mr. Devendra Singh from Sanctum Wealth, the IT head. Thank you for being a part of this event. We look forward in continuing our efforts to promote awareness and best practices in cybersecurity.